Was this your only choice for this part of the Star Trail? Were there other options, or is this the only way to go?
Right,
I know. It's difficult to find.
Look, I know what we're skirting around, and that is the fact that this, I will admit, is not a duet. This is a feat.
It is a duet. Oh,
it's not. How is this a duet?
Well, the fact that it's written by Twitty, but Dean
That's
Martin
got nothing
then
to do
takes 2/3 of it, but there is a clear message between the two, and a clear conversation, I think, and it's quite multi-layered.
Do you think that...
So, although Twitty only sings...
He sings about 3 lines.
Yeah, but Twitty wrote it.
And so...
It feeds in. He wrote it almost for Dean, even though he didn't write it for Dean. But
he wrote it for his daughter or himself, because they released it first.
But there is a clear conversation, and Dean is talking to Twitty, the actual real Twitty in the song.
Yeah, it's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Twitty is the teacher, and Dean is kind of pretending to not know what he's doing, because that's his act, isn't it? He kind of acts a bit like a bimbo.
Yeah.
Even though he's sung loads of country songs before, he's had country albums, been in westerns, singing country songs and all this stuff. But he just likes to play the dum-dum.
Mm.
And he does it great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in that way, I think you can call it a duet because of the concept.
Well, I started with this kind of, idea of what a duet had to be, which between a duet and a feat.
Mm.
A feat could be a duet. It all depends on how much conversation there is or how much they share it.
Mm.
And I guess this is a 2-character song, but he comes in so late. It just feels like a bit of a wheel him in, oh, look who's here. Like at a Dean Martin show, Sammy Davis Jr. would come on and dance to a song and they go, Sammy's here.
Yeah. It's a bit like that, but I feel like it's more than that because of the way they are talking together, like teacher-student.
Yeah. There's just not enough from Conway to really convince me.
Mm. Okay, so this was the only choice to get round.
Well, no, I remember at the start I said I could do it in 5, but you said no.
I preferred 6. Yeah.
You preferred 6. When I saw this, I thought we have to do this because it's a way to get out of country and into something else. Because we've been doing a lot of country recently, so it's nice to spread our wings.
Yeah, we love country and we don't really want to leave, but you have to. You have to go to come back. We'll be back.
Sometimes you have to go up north. Be more cosmopolitan, metropolitan.
The bright lights, big city. It cools.
Well, have you heard the term Countrypolitan?
Countrypolitan?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, apparently this is a musical genre. It came after the Nashville sound country pop.
Wow.
More sophisticated, maybe for the kind of more middle-class city dwellers.
Yeah.
The classic example for this was Patsy Cline.
Mm.
So it has slightly more jazz-tinged productions. It gets rid of the hillbilly instruments like the banjo. The fiddle will still be there, but maybe they'll call it a violin. Maybe.
Yeah. But they'll still have slide, because that's smooth.
Oh, the slide, yeah, it's very smooth, and it's always in there.
Yeah, always there. And the original Nashville sound was getting rid of things as well. Like they got rid of piano, the honky-tonk, more steel, more lush backing vocals.
Yeah.
And less fiddle even then. And this is a whole nother level. Again, the Jimmy Bowen production.
Yeah, it is.
Fuck.
It's taken it into the 80s. Because if you listen to this one, this is like 6 years after the Conway one.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I listened to both together.
They're so fucking different. It's crazy, the sound of them.
I know.
I mean, I guess 6 years is a long time in pop development.
Yeah, technology. And that particular time was a particularly big jump in technology. From late 70s, early 80s, tons of shit happened. Yeah. Kraftwerk, came on the scene.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do your Roland bit.
Oh, the Roland, yeah.
There are some definite hints of that in this one. It just sounds so MIDI. Like the snare and the cymbals sound MIDI. Then you start peeling about the layers. The piano sounds MIDI. The bass sounds MIDI. It's only the slide and the fiddles and some guitar touches.
Yeah. Which don't sound totally MIDI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely. And it probably is MIDI.
Is it?
Probably is, because they're experimenting with that shit at that time.
Yeah, probably.
And they're like, wow, if I just use MIDI, then there's no background sound at all.
Yeah, no room sound
No
at all.
clicks, no actual musician fucking it up. And in that crispy way where they haven't got to grips with producing that stuff to kind of also give it warmth. It's very cold sounding.
Really cold.
And it's so weird for a country song to sound so cold.
Yeah, and to have Dean quite old. I mean, this is his last release, album-wise, and he sounds super kind of cold and old. It's like you feel really
cold
really
and
bad.
old.
Really bad for him. You think he's got like probably a blanket on his lap, you know.
Okay, so this is 83. Was it in the charts?
Okay, so facts rundown. Here we go.
Yeah.
So it was a single in the US and Australia. It was released the first week of July in 1983. It was recommended in the Billboard magazine, and it climbed the charts for 2 months and peaked at 35 at the end of August. So what a summer for my first country song.
Wow, 35.
Yeah.
Is it Billboard charts? What about country charts?
That is the country chart. No, that is
yeah.
Yeah, this isn't the Billboard pop chart.
No. Shit,
No.
like 35 on the country charts.
Yeah.
Dean Martin, Conway Twitty. Oh,
Yeah.
dear. People did not like it then.
Well,
I can see why.
the album chart was hilarious. It had about 4 Conway Twitty albums in there that have been on there for like weeks and weeks, like probably 2 years.
Yeah.
Still selling like hotcakes.
Oh, well, Twitty knows what he's doing.
He does, yeah.
He's not just going to give away a song for someone else to pip him at the post. He's going to give it away to an old, aging Dean Martin and give it to a sort of strange MIDI producer and then watch it flop.
Well, this is his producer as well. Conway's been with this producer for the last 3 albums.
Really?
Yeah, so who comes in on the Dean album? Conway, of course.
Yeah.
He's probably just popping in to give a tape back to Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, hey, Conway does a good song. What's that song you do? Oh, yeah, my first country song.
I feel like this song, it's kind of got a few different levels going on. Like on one level, Twitty's teaching Martin how to write a country song. It sort of takes place in the eureka moment when the pupils succeeded in meeting the teacher's goals for it. And they both get like a lot of joy from this moment, and they wish to enthuse and extrapolate about it, how it happened, and the great success of it all.
Yeah.
It's like it's a love song, because it's like that love that occurs in the teacher-pupil dynamic. So it's a great angle.
Yeah, it was nice. When I first listened to the song, I was waiting for Conway to come in. I was like, waiting, looking at my watch.
Yeah.
And when he comes in, even though he's a little bit younger than Dean, I'd say he's younger than Dean.
I'd stick my neck out and say that, yeah.
He comes in with this teacherly, fatherly bit of it. I was like, what? Yeah, okay, I suppose.
Yeah.
I didn't know at that time that Conway had written the song, but now you know.
No.
He has even more reason to be doing that.
Yeah, he like has more like omnipresence in the song from the start, because he wrote it and he's like, well, this is how you write a country song. And like he's like, look, Daddy, look, I did it. Look, I did a poo in the toilet. I wrote a country song. Yay. He's there from the start.
Do you think it works having Dean do that part? Wouldn't it work better if it was a younger person?
Yes, definitely.
I just think Dean is so distant from the material. He's just doing his Dean stuff on it. I think he comes alive on the saddest note part. He feels that.
Yeah.
Because that's about his appreciation of the art form of country songs. But like when he's talking about writing the song, you just don't believe him. I don't believe him. I don't believe he's ever tried to write a song.
No.
It just sounds...
Well, any song at all.
Yeah.
No, why would he? Yeah, he's
Why
too
would he?
breezy. He gets everything he wants. All he has to do is pick up the mic, wander in, and go, hey, and he's off.
That's another person's job. That's not his job.
Someone else
you know?
does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it doesn't ring true. That's where it's a little bit disingenuous from Martin's point of view. And it's kind of accentuated by this crispy production and MIDI stuff. It's like a total bastardization of country. It's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, it's a shopping mall version of it.
They've stole Twitty's horse and they've put it in like an apartment with some wafty see-through curtains and painted it white, and it just sits there for the rest of its life.
With an olive.
With an olive. Where's the olive? Like,
Well, in a glass of martini.
yeah, in a glass, yeah. but the horse can't drink from the glass, so it just sits there. I felt like his voice pervaded through the whole song so deeply that I started to question whether you can call it a country song. I think it's a lounge number.
Oh, you mean the presentation of it?
Yeah, superficially it's a country song. It's got the beat, the slide, the theme, the chord structure. But, like, what pervades the overriding fug you're left with is the production and the voice.
The two things together, like the MIDI coming in, Dean kind of going out, they just haven't mixed well. I mean, at the time, it might have sounded nice and fresh and new, but because we're listening to it, like, 40-odd years later, it just doesn't sound good.
I think the standout sonic sort of trope of 83 pop is, like, crispiness. Suddenly the kick is not thuddy or muddy. The snare is super present. It's all, like, 3D. Lots of space being generated by the crispy verbs.
Fake space.
Exactly, fake space. This is, like, the point where country goes shit.
This is where it crosses over, isn't it?
Crosses over and then gets taken over, really, by the Bowen and those kind of guys and becomes Chrome Cowboy.
And Dean helped it on its way.
Yeah, exactly. It's been taken over from within by the greedy songbookers like Dean and bastardised. And now it's left us with the Chrome counterfeit.
You're saying that Dean is part of a conspiracy to make it Countrypolitan?
Yeah, exactly.
His disregard for the country life could be summed up with the artwork on his sleeve. So you got classic Vegas Martin in his tuxedo with red handkerchief, stood in the doorway of a wooden shack. But then on the back, they've like dressed him a bit more casual. He's got a leather jacket on, white t-shirt underneath, and he's got some brown slacks on, suede boots. But he's sitting so awkwardly on the shack steps, avoiding the climbing plants, like to show the kind of overgrown, down-home nature country shack. It's like he's moving his arm away from the nearest weed. He's crumpling himself up into a kind of weird shape to just get away. This is not his comfort zone. He wants to be on the putting green. He doesn't like wild flowers and wild anything. He wants it to be mown within an inch of its life and it to be nearly concrete. Yeah. He'd rather it be concrete.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally. So what business has he got making a fucking album called the Nashville Sessions? Really?
You know, it's Nashville. You just put Nashville on an album, it'll sell, I guess. Yeah. It's also like a warm welcome to a foreigner from a different land. Right, yeah. Come on in.
Come on in. Yeah, it's like a member of country royalty sort of inviting in the king of like easy listening from another land. It's like a royal visit.
Yeah. Yeah, like a diplomatic dinner or something.
Yeah, like they're both on best behaviour. But they're sort of like, it's kind of an equally powerful nation.
Dynamic. Yeah,
and so, that's like Russia and that's America. It's like...
Yeah, there's no power politics going on. This isn't because war is on the horizon. They're not coming to meet because of that. They're coming to meet because one of them's just had a kid or something and they knew each other back in the diplomatic services about years ago, or they met each other during the war or something. And then, this is 50 years later and it's like, oh, he's in town. Yeah, let's bring him around for dinner. We haven't seen him for years.
No, I think it is more like a diplomatic thing because it's in public and it's called My First Country Song. It's like, look, you may think that country's easy to write. Well, let's see. I'll teach you and you sing this. And let's see how this works, doing the easy listening thing with country.
Do you think they're both bending over a bit? Because it's not like this is a cracking song. It's not a world beater. I mean, it's good. When Conway sings it, I really like it, but it doesn't translate that well to this version. But it's like if they're on a variety show. Like, this is Dean, isn't it? I mean, Dean had his variety show. And people would come on and make a bit of an arse of themselves, and Dean would do that himself constantly. That's part of his act. So it's fooling around, really, isn't it? It's like they're just fucking getting up and doing karaoke.
It sounds fucking karaoke with a backing track, yeah. I don't know, I think there's something more insidious about it, though.
Okay.
On one level, it's the teaching thing. Next level,
yes.
It's a postmodern, hyper self-conscious piece of work. They're discussing the tropes of the genre within the song, like Scream, where they discuss the plot.
Yeah, because this is obviously not Conway's first song. He's talking about writing his first country song, and he's talking about the inspirations. But this is a song that he's writing from way down the line about his first country song.
Okay, so this is like a pretty decent rule book for how to write a country song, I suppose. It reduces it.
It gets it right down to the very, very bones of it. Because this is his first country song. So it is an expression from a naive mind. He hears hears this music on the radio, and he says, I didn't believe things happen that way.
Yeah. Like when they sing the words, I can never sing along. I just didn't believe these things happen that way. Yeah. I thought our love was here to stay. Yesterday she walked away, and now they're hitting home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the lyrics are hitting home. Yeah. It's brilliant. Conway knows what he's doing. But I think it's perfect for Dean Martin because he does come across as this totally breezy character who doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's fucking total alpha male. He doesn't give much away. A lot of his music and stuff is kind of ego-led.
Yeah.
He's not like a soul-searching country...
No, songs are confection to the show, aren't they? They're just like...
Yeah.
He's an entertainer. It's all just show business.
Yeah. And that's why like you can believe that this guy's kind of had his heart broken for the first time and now he's understanding country music.
Maybe, yeah.
Twitty has his line, you wrote some words about the good times that you had. Then some lies about losing your mind and missing her so bad. Some lies. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, I lost my mind. I miss her so much. Shut up. You fucking did that on purpose because you don't love her anymore. You wanted rid. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to make up a lie to cover yourself so you don't feel like such a shit.
Wow, there's a whole nother level here. And then the next one, you didn't leave out a thing about the way you'd done her wrong. Like, that's an interesting line as well.
But what I was saying about how this isn't the song that he's writing, because there's nothing in the song about that.
I mean, he's talking... That's
so he's talking about another
totally
song.
Postmodern here, because he's
yeah.
commentating on the song that he's written within the song.
That isn't this song.
That isn't this song. And you didn't leave out a thing about the way you done... If you'd done a proper country song, oh... Actually, you did leave it all out. That's an like sly, ironic sort of like, isn't it? Ooh. To Dean.
Maybe you're saying, yeah, you wrote your first country song. I'll tell you wrote your first country song.
Oh, but you didn't leave out a thing about it.
You got it perfect.
Oh, shit, like, that. Oh, yeah. Actually, sorry.
It's like you say about talking to a child, well done for doing a poo. So, he's...
exactly.
He's saying,
exactly.
Well done for writing that first country song. You did everything right, everything right. But come back tomorrow, because there's more to learn. Yeah.
And I'll tell the audience now. I'll turn to the audience, like George Lazenby in Her Majesty's Secret Service, where he says, this never happened to the other guy. And
Spectre.
And you didn't leave out a thing about this, blah, blah, blah. Spectre only applies to the Bond episode, mate.
No. It has to come
on. No, we could slip it in on other episodes, surely. It's not like it's going to get crazy.
Well, I was thinking about how to
get carry on talking about Bond.
I was thinking about how we're going to get Clapton into this one, and the only way I could do... I've got away. This year, Conway did a cover of the Pointer Sisters hit, Slow Hand.
Right. Okay. Do go on.
Slow Hand.
Slow Hand.
So this was released in 77 under Conway, and it was released by his daughter the same year, in 77.
Really?
Yeah. She released it under the name Jessaca James. This is Conway's daughter, Kathy. He's one of his daughters. See, what Conway thought was, I heard this radio interview of him in the mid-70s. The DJ says, so, your kids, they don't use your name, Twitty. And he's like, no, well, that's for you. And he's like, oh, right. And he's like, yeah, when they start releasing really big records, you don't have to keep saying Twitty, all the time. And it's like, okay, very sure about himself, sure about his kids. So you got Kathy, was called Jessica James. You got Joni, who got called Joni Lee. And then he really took it one step further with his son Michael. He took inspiration from his own airplane number, which was 359CT. And how would you say CT if you were in the airplane, you're phoning into the air traffic control?
CT. CT coming on in. We got CT coming in.
So if you're in an airplane over a radio, what do police say over the radio?
Over.
The phonetic... what's they call it?
Okay.
The alphabet.
Okay, yeah. The Alpha, Bravo... Alpha, Bravo... Something begin with C.
Charlie.
And then T. What's the other one?
An orange drink?
Tango. Charlie Tango.
Charlie Tango was his son Michael's name. I looked up these, offspring of Conway under these aliases, and shock and surprise, none of them did anything. But shock and surprise, a few years later, when they changed their names back to Kathy Twitty and Michael Twitty, they're releasing music. They're getting contracts. So Conway's idea backfired and probably killed like 2 or 3 years of their career.
Yeah.
Shaved it off. Because he was putting out a hand of friendliness to the DJs so they didn't all get mixed up, saying Twitty a lot.
It's just for the DJs. It wasn't for his kids to stop them being too famous and like.
Well, but he said that about the DJ thing first, and it was just like, what are you talking about?
What is he talking about?
It wasn't even a joke. He was just like, yeah, well, that's for you. But then he did say.
He's like that though, isn't he? Like Twitty. Like he's trying to do
talking.
the right thing.
Yeah,
but he's just like in business and stuff, and he's just like the supposed right thing is like, well, that's illegal and stupid. Like, why are you doing that? And like, now you're in court, you fucking idiot. Like, yeah, I was just trying to be good. I just thought you guys, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I need to pay back
Twitty
my
all the
investors.
time.
Hey, Twitty can't have a bad name. I don't. Oh, maybe he was because in that Twitty burger suit, he was like, people need to trust the name Twitty, and I live off that name. And that's the whole reason he won that suit. So maybe this is why he didn't call his... He heard his kid's music and he was like...
That's probably the real reason. No, he's such a nice guy, though. He couldn't... But, well, he's also a cold business brain, so his kids might bring down the name.
Well, he did. Michael did. Fucking hell. His album that he released under his name, Michael Twitty, was called, I think it was in the mid-'80s, it's called Debbie Don't Do Dallas Anymore.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Which gives you a little window into what he was doing for a few of his years.
So, what was
He's a pornography fan. He's a pornography fan. But that's country. He's being real.
Yeah.
Telling it like it is.
Porn is real.
Yeah, porn is real and we all do it. So Conway probably appreciated that.
But it's not... probably didn't wash too well with the classic old country boys.
I don't know. They probably thought it was funny.
Well, maybe.
Probably got a giggle out of it. In this year, 1983, Dean Martin actually comes to the UK. And he hasn't been to the UK since 25 years prior, when he was over with Jerry Lewis. This all coincides with his 66th birthday, because he comes over to do a few gigs, a 10-day stint at the Apollo Theatre. And he gets thrown a birthday party by Princess Anne.
Cool.
And the Variety Club of Great Britain. They get him as a special guest to their annual ladies' luncheon, which is hosted by Princess Anne. See, because in the way that Dean tells it, he's being interviewed on an Australian TV show. It's like he's having a live satellite link-up. We love live satellite link-ups.
Oh, we love a live... Yeah. Was it a first?
I don't think it was a first. They didn't say anything about firsts.
Shame.
This is called the Don Lane Show. And Dean says, yeah, Princess Anne gave me a birthday party. Practically all the actors, comedians, and all show business was there. And it was really beautiful. They did some funny jokes about me. They're funny guys out there. So I looked into this. And there was a TV show called Dean Martin, This Is Your Lunch on BBC One. And it's basically this ladies' lunch for the Variety Club of Great Britain. It's like low-level, polite British society version of a roast. So he's getting slightly sautéed, I suppose. I don't know. He's not really getting roasted.
No.
It's because they're too polite. And the way he says that, like, practically all the actors, comedians, and all of show business was there, I recognised 2 people. Tommy Cooper was there, so that's pretty good.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, it makes up for everything.
He did some drinking jokes. He said one of his jokes was, "I'm on the whiskey diet. Last week I lost 3 days." There was Morecambe and Wise. They were there, but they didn't actually do any of the roasting. But there was like a long monologue from an Anglican provost from Blackburn, and someone called Peter Goodright. No. An actor called Ron Moody. No? Anyone? No. So this is all show business. You know, this is the kind of bizarre world that Dean Martin lives in, where he just never leaves Vegas.
No, he has no idea about... I mean, he's American as well. He has no idea about England. So.
Yeah. I mean, what do they get imported? The Beatles? What else did they really get? They didn't get, like, comedian. I mean, they get actors, of course, like Oliver Reed. And
Monty Python
like
did that.
Monty Python, yeah. I just don't think they imported as much stuff as we imported from them.
No, definitely not. They liked what they did, and they watched it and peered on it and enjoyed it, and why they need anything else. Yeah.
So during this, there's a couple of telegrams read out from back home because it's his 66th birthday. And guess who the telegrams are from?
Two telegrams.
Yeah,
okay.
US royalty, basically.
US royalty, 2 telegrams imported in. Sinatra.
Yes.
Hey. And one other.
Yeah.
Shit. A president.
Yes.
No way! Yes! Come on! 2 out of 2! Fuck off! Yes!
Yeah.
President who? What year again?
83.
Okay, Reagan. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
100% Utah.
And why would Reagan send him a telegram?
I don't know.
Because Sinatra and Martin joined Reagan on his fucking presidential campaign.
Yeah, right, of course. No wonder he was president. I mean, he had country sitting on his lap, and he had easy listening behind him.
Oh, Tammy, you mean?
Yeah.
You can't get away from this connection between showbiz and politics in the US.
Totally. Yeah.
You don't get those connections here, really.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oasis supported Tony Blair when he got in.
The odd thing here and there. But like this, it's like every time we talk about a US star, somewhere along their path, they have campaigned or put their thumbs up for certain presidents of that time, haven't they? Except for Lou Reed.
Yeah.
That I can think of.
Yeah. That's the world of duets that we live in, or have lived in so far. It's inhabited by the successful. We're not diving into the fucking new wave scene or anything like that much, apart from Lou Reed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Gabriel didn't go along with John Major on his campaign trail.
No. Don't give up.
Oh my God. They're like both 2 of the greyest people on the earth.
Imagine that combo.
Sizzling duet by Gabriel and Major.
Gabriel and Major. Sounds good, though. Sounds amazing. We're leaving Twitty.
Leave him to rest in peace.
Bye-bye, Twitty. But hopefully we come back to Twitty, because I don't feel like we've fully, we've talked about his oeuvre. I don't even know how to say that word. But,
Oeuvre.
But we haven't heard too much of it. We've heard Mississippi, which is good, and we've heard this.
And we haven't gone to one of his best, which is with Sam Moore.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I tried to get it into the Sam Moore Lou Reed episode, but I couldn't. And I couldn't do it in this one either, and I really wanted to, but like I can't cram it in.
No, shame. Just lost gems.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get one day. We'll get there.
So I guess it's really down to where we're going next.
Yeah, it is. So we're on Dean Martin. I don't know how you're going to get to Alicia Keys, but we've got 2 tracks to get there.
You have no idea?
No idea, no. I haven't looked into it.
Okay.
Tell me.
Well, we're going to go deep into the Rat Pack, and we're going to go to...
Of course.
The chairman of the board.
Yeah, Mr. Sinatra, obviously.
Yeah.
And then he's going to...
get us to Alicia.
Whoa.
And to get to Alicia with Frank it could break some of our rules, but I'm not sure we've actually... I don't think we've actually explained... And I don't think we need to explain the rules because we're going to
because otherwise we're fucked. Because we can't. Yeah. They don't
but then I thought that this one broke the rules, to be honest.
No, it doesn't break the rules. It's a duet.
Is it? I can't say it's a duet.
This is definitely a duet because it's one of the most duetish duets we've had.
Fuck off! It's not. It's terribly
it's a
not.
Massive conversation between the two things.
It's a little conversation at the end. That's it.
There's a big conversation between the two genres.
Okay. So we're extrapolating the idea.
Mm. I mean, they don't really connect like deeply, do they? Like as singers emotionally.
They don't sound like they're in the same studio at the same time.
No. But there's a fabricated conversation going on, which is fascinating.
There is, yeah. And also we need it because we need to get back to Alicia Keys.
We need it, and I'm glad we went here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty.
You don't have to keep saying Twitty, all the time.
It's not like it's going to get crazy. Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty.
Conway.
Twitty. Conway.